Good morning to everyone. I'm really excited to be here and have a chance to talk in front of the top HR managers of the region, as well as their partners, and of course my Kotrulji Business School EMBA 12 generation who graduated just yesterday. So give them a clap. I will use my 10 minutes to share you my story about my journey in HPB Croatia, Hrvatska Poštanska banka. That's the governmental-owned bank, local bank in Croatia, and I joined it 2 years ago. Very excited and with full of expectations, and very thrilled to have a chance to share my experience and my knowledge in HR part now in the banking sector. And as you can all refer to your own experience, expectation is one thing and reality is another thing. And this is what happened to me my first day at work. I put on my shiny shoes, my new dress, and this is what was the reality in HPB Croatia when I came. So I'm sure you have all that kind of experience. What was the HPB bank reality 2 years ago? We had to overcome all obstacles. We were against all odds. We started with insufficient capital adequacy. What does that mean for you who are not in banking? We were on the edge of losing our banking license. The bank was up to bankruptcy. So we started with 650 million kunas loss. This was the first press conference of a new CEO. He had to announce we had 650 million kunas loss. Consumer trends were changing. Of course, no one wants to go to bank branches anymore. And we didn't even have net banking. We didn't have m-banking. We didn't have anything that could lead us to the consumer trending changes. The market declines. Of course, we all experienced that since 2008. The market declining. It was a low to no market, and we were also in that pot. The perception of HPB as a state institution, slow-moving, focused on pensioners and public companies, as well as related to losses and scandals, you can imagine. I mean, in this region, it's very popular to go to prison, but not really a competitive advantage to start with. So, what was the HPB people reality when I came to HPB? This picture I saw 1 week ago. It was a race of children in Netherlands, and as you can see, the children are not really in the race. As you can see, the parents were more into the race than the children. And this is what HPB people were when I came there. They weren't with the head, they weren't with their heart, they weren't with their feet in HPB. They were just dragged to the finish line, and they didn't even know what the finish line was. So this was the reality. The old HPB employee was formal, too cautious, too procedural, and he was close to change. For example, it took me over 6 months for my team to stop calling me Mrs. Director. I had to make a name tag with my name, and it took me 6 months to tell them, okay, you will have to start to call me Ivana or I will leave this room. So that was one example. It took 110 papers to make any decision. They were all scared to make any suggestions. They didn't want to knock on doors. And this could be applied to the whole bank, not only to my HR team. And this is when the journey began, the journey of the company culture change in HPB. The architects of the culture is, of course, the management board. As my colleague previously said, the changes come from the top. We changed the management board, and this is the quotes of the management boards that were most important for me, and that were necessary to overcome all the obstacles we had in HPB. The first quote you can see from the CEO is that decisions should be made and implemented fast and fixed later. For example, he told me on the 1st of June, I want this company to be restructured and reorganized until the 1st of October. And I was looking at him and I was saying, are you nuts? What is wrong with you? That's impossible. But as you can see, it was possible. The journey began also with new people. We are all here, most of us HR managers, and we have the most powerful tool in our hands. We can decide together with our management boards who runs the bus, who sits in the bus, and who is everyone in their seat. So we took this opportunity and we changed over 16 directors, board minus 1 directors, from 21. We also, 120 employees left us and 90 new employees joined us. And this is what it's most important, because they influence the company culture. All those people who came to HPB, they came with their culture, with their experience, and the culture we wanted in HPB to grow. So this is the most important thing, the change of the management board, and then the change of the board of directors, and hierarchy down to all the workers. So, additional to that, of course, we had to take steps also in new processes. As you can see in this slide, before the old HR was simply administrative and not paying attention to the growth of the people. The new HR, I must say, with the same people, but we took a little bit of new people, but the new HR started new processes. And my quote, as you can see, I better ask for forgiveness than for permission. Because it was stood up that I have to make all these changes in 1 year. So I didn't have any time to ask for permission. I rather ask for forgiveness. So we started these processes. The most important process was performance management in HPB, because that wasn't there for 20 years in that bank. We have 1,100 employees and no performance management. So we started with performance management. We continued with competency models, with corporative culture, with employee satisfied researches, with KPI workshops, and et cetera, et cetera. These were the processes who were then implemented together with the new and the old people. And what is the result? The result, we have this new HPB employee. He's goal-oriented, he's customer-oriented, he's a team player. He knows what his finish line is. He knows what his vision is. He knows what his mission is. He's clearly with his task. And you can say, how do we prove it? We can prove it. We can prove it through our results. We can prove it through our customer service. We can prove it through our climate on our meetings. It is shown all over the bank. And also, this all resulted, of course, with the new HPB result. The surroundings changed, the behaviors changed, the values, the identity, and the competencies changed. And this led us to the record operating profit in the history of the Croatian bank. So these results were the best results in its corporate histories. And we also increased the number of our clients to 650,000. And you must say that's a good number, because we have like 4 million people in Croatia living, and 1 million working. And of course, this all continues also in 2016, and we will break our records also in 2016. Let me finish this presentation with my favorite movie. I don't know if you saw the movie The Last Samurai. Basically, he was an American soldier who joined a Japanese samurai warrior team, and he was trained and skilled for all those warriors, and they were in battles and etc. But they were close to change. They didn't want to adapt. They didn't want to take the future. And in a battle, in the worst battle in the history of samurais, they all died from a bullet. So, my message to you would be, don't make your culture, people, and your company be the last samurai, because I met a lot of last samurais in HPB, and I liked them. And I didn't want them to die from a bullet. Let them be a rising star, as the banker said for HPB last week in the newspaper. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Ivana Kovačić from HPB, Croatia. Fantastic. Right.